Hello, I am 25 today, so I'm going to make a video called 25 Tips for 25 Years. I did this last year and it was really awesome, so I decided that I was going to do it again. Alright, so I'm going to get straight to it. Tip number 1. Actually, these are less like tips and more just like life lessons and things that I've learned throughout the year and things that I want to reiterate and speak into existence onto film so that I have it for myself for as long as I'm alive and for anybody else who may come across my videos. So the first one is love can only be unconditional. If it's not unconditional, then it is not love. And I really think that most of us love conditionally. We just don't think about it. And the purest and highest form of love is to do so unconditionally, where you don't need to feel or be needed or wanted by the other person. At that point, when a person doesn't need you or want you, can you still love them? And if you can, that is unconditional, because they don't need to be like, I need you to do this for me, or I need you to fill this hole in my heart in order for you to actually love them. If you can do that, then you are loving at a very high level. Tip number 2, moving on, because people have such a hard time with this. I have found that there are 3 ways to help you move on. All of it starts here. Everything always starts in the mind, in my opinion. So the first tip I could say is courage. You have to have the courage to just do something new, different, experiment, explore. The second thing would be letting go. Not moving on or not being able to move on is because you're still holding on to something. So letting go is how one moves on. Very simple, but you have to have the courage to let go. That's why courage is the first one. 2 other ones that are much simpler than those 2 are putting new habits into your life. But even if it's small, I always say random stuff like drink lots of water, throw lemon in it if you want an extra boost, take cold showers, turn off the blue light filter on your phone, change out your toothpaste to something that doesn't have fluoride, stuff like that, where it's like little changes that you don't have to think too hard about at all, and you just add it to your routine, and like you'll see small changes in your mind, but it's going to affect your decisions moving forward, and they're usually really positive ones. You'll feel better, and if you can feel better, then you'll make decisions that do the same. Okay, tip number 3. Negativity is subjective. I don't think that there is something that can be purely negative. First, it's the intention behind the action, and then the receiver, how they perceive that action is completely up to them. Some people are like, oh, crying is negative or being angry is negative. I wouldn't see that as negative. I think people need to cry and to be angry in order to feel more whole, because it's part of the human experience, and you can't pretend like you don't have those things. Sure, there's a time and place for it, yes, but you have to release them. So I wouldn't see that as negative. I see it as being whole. You can't always be happy and you can't always smile. So negativity is more like, say I'm sad and someone tries to come all up in my space telling me to be happy and positive and say all these things, and I'm like, nah, like let me be sad right now, because I'm trying to let this out and sort out my emotion, and maybe I'll make some art out of it or something. I need to dance in my sadness for a little bit, right? So their positive energy could be negative to me because it's bothering me, and they're trying to change my state of emotion when I don't want it to be changed, because I understand what's happening and I'm self-aware. So that could be negative, even if someone's being positive. So that's my perspective and opinion on what negativity actually is. 4, high quality sleep is more important than movement and food combined. Tip number 5, be honest, because it is the best way to live and it is the easiest way to live. Maybe not at the beginning, but once you get into the habit of just being honest, it's so much easier because you don't have to think about making stuff up or creating ways to not offend people or whatever that is. I'm not saying to go out there and be brutally honest all the time. Just like know when. It's a practice, but being honest is so much easier, so just be honest. Tip number 6. Another common thing. Never, and I mean never, settle for anything less than your plan A. Period. I wrote about this, how to execute your plan A successfully. I think we have everything backwards. It shouldn't be have a plan A, B, C, D, but instead should be the reverse. Have a plan D, then you'll move to plan C, and then B, and all the way up until A. That is how we should do it if we're gonna have anything more than a plan A. And that's how I've decided to do things. I've been able to put it into words, and I'm really happy with how it's working out. Number 7, buy reusable straws and utensils and cups. Bring your own towelette. We need to take responsibility, and that's such a small thing, and it's inconvenient, but convenience kills. It might be a little inconvenience to you, but it's really important that you understand the impact of a plastic straw, a one-use pair of chopsticks, plastic spoons, plates, foam plates, all that stuff is completely stupid and made out of pure convenience. The most effective way, instead of waiting for government to make laws and to charge you more or to completely ban stuff, just bring your own stuff around. Carry like a little fanny pack or like a little bag with the basic essentials. If you like bubble tea, there are bubble tea straws. There's everything that you can get, and it'll probably take like up this much room in your bag. Just carry it with you, it's so much easier. Same thing with a bottle. Instead of purchasing plastic one, you can even bring your own mug and stuff to cafes and everything. When you do that, you make huge ripple effects because you influence other people to do the same thing, because all they have to do is see it and be like, talk about it, take pictures about it, and you save other people money because now they won't have to buy as much stuff, right? The business, which means they could either get more profit, which is a great thing, or they could reduce the price, which is also a great thing. So buy reusable stuff and use it. It's not that hard. It doesn't cost that much money. And now, a word from our sponsor. So I have a dance convention that I co-produce and co-host with Elmer Martinez. He's pulled a lot of the strings. I just want everyone to know that yes, it's my brain baby, and then as a great friend, he came through and started helping me do mad things, so much so that I was like, just do it, Elmer. And then he did mad stuff this year. So pretty much all the strings, most of them, he pulled. I am not ashamed. I'm not egotistic about it. I'm just honest. He's a great guy, great friend. And we have this convention. So the dance convention is August 4th and 5th. It's 2 full days. And if you're trying to attend both days, it's just $60. If you're just trying to observe and just check it out, it's $20. There's so much you can learn and so many great people that you can meet. And if you don't have faith in humanity, it will be restored. If you come here, you will make friends, you will get opportunities, and you will be so full. And when you leave that place, you will think differently and you will probably change course. That is how strong this convention is. It's just a manifestation of who I am, if you know me, but in dance form. Okay, so we put it in the dance box, but then we add so many human elements to it and spiritual and soulful elements that we need to add to it so that it can help people way beyond the dance floor. If you're trying to dance and you're horrified and terrified, or you're super self-conscious about it, this is the great place to come through. It's designed for that. Okay? We try to cater to all different levels, but it's definitely open to beginners or people who just have never started. So come. It's a great time every year. It's the 4th season. And we announced the contest about getting free admission. It's on the Eat, Sleep, Dance, Repeat page. All the links will be up here if you're on Facebook, down there if you're on YouTube, and in my bio if you're on Instagram. 8, when you can, choose to support small businesses over big corporations because competition is good, and usually small businesses have the interest of the people and are more community orientated, and they go out of their way to deliver excellent service. This isn't true for everyone, but there are a lot of small businesses that are great. Chain is chain, right? Like chain restaurants, big things that you know, and you travel and you're comfortable. It's like, oh, there's a Chipotle in Canada. But why would you go to a Chipotle in Canada when you're in Canada and you can go to something local, right? And enjoy something that you can only get there. That's another reason just to explore, and you'll find really great food at local places. But yeah, it's better for the economy. So do that. Tip number 9, go thrift shopping because it's way cheaper and you can buy way more clothes and you reduce your carbon footprint by a lot, because buying new clothes is not a smart idea. The fashion industry is the 2nd most destructive industry in the world. This could be controversial. Happiness is not the most important thing. I'll explain. I wrote about this a little bit. When you put happiness in the forefront, it screws everything up. Because when someone's not happy, they feel like they're supposed to be happy all the time, or that they have to chase happiness, or that they have to get things in order to be happy. Wrong. Some people will destroy themselves for happiness, whatever that means to them. Happiness is just when dopamine in your brain, it's a chemical, goes whoop, you're having a good time. That can be anything. Video games, hooking up with somebody, dance, sports, going to the gym, reading a book, whatever. All sounds completely harmless. But the thing is, that chemical in your brain is so strong that if you don't have discipline or self-awareness or an understanding of balance, or you can't see how that's impacting the rest of your life, you can destroy yourself. I see it with my group of friends all the time. A lot of us are really physical creatures. We love movement. We're so passion orientated. But the thing is, everyone's impatient in a way where everyone's horrible at chilling out to heal their body when it's not in a good position. Like, you should be 22, 23, 24, 20. You shouldn't be having all these issues with your body and then like your stamina is so poor. That shouldn't be the case because you're young and you should be taking care of yourself so that you can thrive. So what I'm saying is, when you put an overemphasis on that and you don't take the time to chill out, you don't take the time to educate yourself on food, and not only educate yourself on food, but then to implement it into your life and then to make decisions that will support your passion. So if you need money so that you can eat better, do that. If you need to sleep. All of my dancer friends, not all, a lot of them, especially the really, really passionate ones, they're great human beings, but there's an overemphasis on happiness and passion that a lot of areas of their life suffer. And they may not be fully aware of that, or they don't think about it that much, but that is what happens. And now the thing is, the reason why I say it's not the most important thing, because they can keep doing that. You can go completely against what I'm saying, which is fine, sort of, but it catches up to you. It already is. So as you get older and things get weaker and you keep repeating and you put more strain on your body, it's gonna give out in certain areas, and you have no choice but to chill out or to learn how to fix what the problem is eventually, or else your passion is short-lived and you don't want that. So if you want to do this happiness thing and passion thing for a long time, you have to balance yourself out. That's the most important thing. You can't neglect everything else for passion. You can do it for some time, but everyone has a limit. And once you reach that limit and it's over, you're gonna start breaking your bones. Maybe your health will start catching up to you. You develop a disease because you're not taking care of yourself. So that's why I don't think it's the most important thing. I do think it's extremely important, but not the most important thing. Drugs make people happy too. Heroin, same thing. And I think happiness is important, but it can kill people. Tip number 13, get money, because money isn't evil. Money is just a tool to exchange goods. Money is energy. Money, when given to a person, is only just an extension of that person. So if you're a good person, it will amplify your goodness because now you can do more. If you're a bad person, it can do that. So money is not evil. So when people say money is evil, I need people to remember that money was created by people. You can't blame a thing. So get your money, stop looking at it as evil. It is necessary to thrive in this environment if you want to make a higher impact. Tip number 14, I don't even remember if I'm doing all the numbers. Patience is really important and everyone needs it. And now, a word from our sponsor. So I have a blog and I've always written since I believe high school, on and off, and I really enjoy it. They've started to become really long because I've had more to say and so much more value to bring to people. It's something that I'm really passionate about, and if you haven't checked it out already, I talk about really intense, deep stuff. It's not perfect, nothing's perfect, it's just my style, and I'm always trying to improve how I write and the things that I talk about, and try to go out there and get more experiences and then bring it back to this space. It's something that you can read over and over. I've talked about love and how I approach that and how I challenge paradigms, and then executing your plan A, building self-esteem, stuff like that. Check it out if you haven't already. 15, gratitude. 15, gratitude is important, so have it. If you don't, practice it. And if you truly have it, then you wouldn't complain about a single thing. Because when you're grateful, there's no way a single strand in your body can complain. And when I do it as a joke. Like, I just do it because I'm acting, or I'm trying to like go back and forth with someone so I can just enjoy that process or get something out of them. 16, empathy is one of the greatest tools that you could have. and one of the most important things that you should develop. You have to understand people. If you don't want to be ignorant, if you don't want to judge people, if you don't want to get angry at them, if you don't want to hate them, you have to develop empathy. It's not something you can learn in a book. You can read the definition and know what it means, but to truly understand, you have to have the conversations with people. You have to understand where they're coming from. You have to listen. You have to be invested in them. And I think more people need to do that. A lot of people think they're superior or that their time is worth more than someone else's, and that's stupid. People need to be patient so that they can have empathy. And another way to gain empathy is to understand yourself, because we're all connected and we share a lot of things in common, more than people know. Another huge one, trust your gut or your intuition or spirit, whatever you want to call it. This feeling, I feel it here. Some people are so beast that they feel it everywhere. You'll start to open it up more as you become more attuned to it. You have to make changes in your life in order to become more attuned to it. It's something that we all have. So yeah, trust your intuition. I live my life following this guy. It's the only thing that feels right. It's very different from being here. This thing thinks it knows, but it doesn't. All right, you know what? I'm going to get a little deeper about that, right? So people are just the mind, and they try to live life and plan things out and do this and do that, and they get upset when things don't work out. But the thing is, this thing that knows. And when you follow that feeling, it's much harder to experience all the turmoil that your mind brings you instead. Lead with this and have this follow. This is your tool, your skill sets, your masteries, all that stuff. This guy leads the path. This guy helps you take everything on. And I've learned that lesson from a few different people who are not even connected to each other. And I believe it's a real thing. Number 18, one of my favorite things I've learned this year. Detachment is not owning nothing. It's that nothing owns you. One more time. Detachment is not that you own nothing. Detachment is that nothing owns you. Learn how to detach. Our culture is so obsessed with attaching ourselves to stuff. You have to understand we are not just human beings. We are spiritual beings. That's what we like to call it, right? Being human is being attached. Perfectly fine. Being spirit is being the opposite. And you have to have both because you are both. But when you put too much emphasis on human, this guy, the intuition, suffers because you're not paying any attention to it at all. So know when to attach, know when to detach. I can't even tell you how to, there's no right answer for that. You find your own way of doing that. That's balance. 19, the biggest sin that you can commit in your life is not be the person you were created to be. Quit lying to yourself. I literally just wrote something about that, just a little rant. That's the biggest sin of all time, because you are suppressing your potential, you are faking it, and trying to be someone so that you can be accepted by other people instead of just being yourself. So they're accepting a fake version of you. And they're also completely disconnected from you because you can't be honest with them. So you're just creating something, a fake image that they can love conditionally because they can't love you unconditionally, because you're giving them something that's not real. You have to teach people to love you unconditionally by unapologetically being yourself, because that's all we can be and that's all we should be, ourselves. It's the easiest thing to do, not at the beginning, because society has messed us up so much that we have to go on the inside and remove it all. And it's so painful, but it's so worth it. As you're removing the junk and filling your life in by being yourself, it gets so easy, guys, so easy. Tip number 20. The laws of the universe revolve around balance. That's what I've seen everywhere. That is just the trend. I see it in everything. So knowing that balance is key, figure out what that means in your life, because it's different for everybody. Tip number 21. The 4 pillars of health are food, movement, sleep, and relaxation. I don't know if you can have it perfect. I don't think anyone ever can sustain that perfectly, but I think that it can always be at a high level. Those 4 things, if you can take care of those 4 things, you will feel great about yourself, inside and out. most people have really, really bad sleep. People think they're sleeping, but like no one knows what it's like to get like A1, bomb, perfect, godlike sleep. Get that sleep because it's really important. Because if you don't, it shortens your lifespan and it also affects the youthfulness of your face and your skin, homie. More so, and I said this before, than food and movement. Was it that? Food and movement combined. For real, for real. People who eat like crap but get tons of sleep, they don't know how to sleep well. And they don't even exercise. And all of it just is horrible. Work on those four. People stress too much, which is why people need to learn how to actually relax. And you'll be good. So work on those things. And now, a word from our sponsor. Okay, boys and girls, so I do this thing called the Soul Sessions Movement Workshop, and exactly what it sounds like. It's a soul session, right? You know how I talked about we're all so human, and this and that, and we're overly attached, and then that causes chaos, and we're too much of this. So in soul sessions, it's about coming through, and we do lots of internal work, and we share, so it's a communal thing. I do everything in my power, use all the lessons that I've learned to help you become your most truest self. That's all that I do at these things. Best part, it's free. You don't need experience. Just being alive is all the experience that you need to come through. I made it free because I think it's important. I don't need to charge in order to help somebody. And I'm grateful and super thankful to Joanne because she really supports and loves the idea, so she allows me to use the space for free. And I'm super duper grateful to my Patreon homies for supporting me and the things that I do. I'll talk more about that later. So come to the workshop. It's July 29th. It's a few days right before the convention. Tip number 22. Everyone on this damn planet should put detoxing into their routine. Some people don't even believe in it because some people are freaking crazy. Okay? Your body detoxes itself. Facts. Straight up facts. So when people make that argument, they're absolutely correct. All our body knows how to do is heal. Whenever we injure ourselves, that's it. It just heals. That's all it ever does. Whenever something horrible happens to us, the horrible reaction that we also feel from that pain is the body trying to heal itself. And healing doesn't always mean it's gonna feel good. Most of the time it's gonna hurt in some way, right? So now that we know that that's a fact, autoimmune diseases aren't real. I just want to put that out there. You should add detoxing into your life. You don't have to be a super crazy health freak, but hearing from different resources and seeing and practicing, the most immediate, obvious effect of detoxing, you feel way better. More energy, better sleep, you can think clearly, higher self-esteem, you make better choices. Facts. Just facts. Because once you hardcore detox, and you're on this really high energy, why would you ever want to come down from that? Anyone who's detoxed, they're just always saying like, you just have this infinite amount of energy and it's addicting and it feels great and you don't want to come down from it. So then you will continue to eat well and treat yourself well, right? So why would you go back to mistreating yourself and eating junk? Some people do, it's fine, because there are levels to it, man. But yes, if you can add detoxing to your life, it doesn't mean you have to become this crazy health lifestyle freak to just aggressively remove toxins faster than how your body would do it alone. You would be doing yourself a huge favor. Educate yourself on it. I do have a little bit of information that I can direct you to if you want to know more about it. Detoxing is just eating food that is nutrient rich that you need to function at tip-top shape, because we don't consume food that helps us do and feel that way. Tip number 23, practice mindfulness, meditation, and yoga will result in clarity of the mind, ton of self-improvement, it's a confidence builder, you'll feel healthier, you'll actually be healthier, and you'll get better sleep. There's no reason why you shouldn't practice it. Any amount of it is so good for you. There were experiments run, I think it was like people did meditation for 3 days or a week or something for X amount of time. It wasn't even that long, and it improved in DNA strand, which was their lifespan, by a lot. Got X amount of years back. And that was like only a few days worth of meditation. A few days, guys. Mindfulness, practice that. And those aren't the only ways to practice mindfulness. Those are just two powerful ways. You can do active meditation. Meditation is letting go of the mind, surrendering your mind, and either being completely indulged in the moment and just becoming your environment, basically, because you are no longer you, because you surrendered a part of you that dictates a lot of your decisions in life, and you just become one with everything around you. That's active meditation. 24, one of my favorite things, and it's on the Strive for Change shirt. Surround yourself with people who want to see you succeed. If you don't know what that means, there are people who enjoy your company only when you're in a certain state of mind. How can I explain this? Like, for example, there's good people, but they're only down to be like, you want to smoke some weed? Do you want to party this weekend? It's the only time that they want to spend time with you. They're not interested in any other aspect of your life. They can only see you that way. It doesn't make them a bad person, but they correlate you and that action and that thing together. That's not wanting you to be successful. Even if they show that they want you, you have to make that difference. Okay, you have to treat yourself better than that, because you are way better than that. You gotta put yourself around people who are just like, yo, like, what are we doing? We need to be better and do better. Or just like, hey, what is your life like? I just want to see you do well. Like, how can I help? Or they just encourage you. And the right people, like actual success, not the kind of success that says, hey, you should go to school, or you should get this, or you should do that. Like, that's fine and dandy. Your voice is always the most important one at the end of the day, if you know what your true voice is internally. But the ones who take time to figure out who you are and then be like, oh, then how come you're not doing that? You should, because that's you. So you should do that. Stop trying to be something that you're not for somebody else. Those people. Those are the ones, man. Those are the ones that you want to be around. Tip number 25. Stop making excuses, because an excuse is a reason to not change, to not act, to not take risk, to downplay your potential. That's what an excuse is. It's a reason to not do, because you'd rather live in the past. Because an excuse comes from fear. Fears usually stem from a past experience or a lack of experience. You want to live life, you have to drop all the excuses. Bad things have happened to everyone. We've all suffered in different ways, whether it's one parent, no parents, divorced parents. My parents have too much money, so now I feel like I can't be successful because people are going to say that it was handed to me. I never had a home. I ran away. I'm an orphan. I was raped. I was in prison. Alcoholic parents. Don't know what family means. I have a child. I can't do anything. I have STDs. I'm underqualified. I'm overqualified. I have too much debt. Broke my arm. There's only so many things that can happen to us, but you can either choose to live in that state of mind for the rest of your life, something that happened to you already, or you can drop the excuse, build up the courage, because it's not about being fearless, it's about knowing that you're afraid, but having the freaking guts to be like, I'm gonna do it anyway, even though I'm crapping myself and this is the hardest thing in the world, because you know it's worth it. And when you have a support system of good people to help you go in the directions that you need to go, it's even better, guys. It's so much better. No excuses 2018. So that's 25, but I'm gonna give bonus ones because I can't help myself. So I'm gonna give you 3 bonus ones. Number 26. This has to do with excuses because people make up excuses. People are so obsessed with getting things perfect and right instead of getting it done. Experience is the best teacher. Failing is good. You don't have to have the perfect thing. You'll have more than one chance in life. If you believe that you're worth it, then you're worthy of more than one chance. It's not once in a lifetime. If you're good enough, you'll receive the same opportunity or better over and over and over, as long as you continue to stay consistent and work at it and fail over and over. Most things, not everything, most things. Prep time and education, hitting the books, watching videos, listening to stuff so that you can educate yourself, great. But doing the doing part is so important. So just do it. I'm not sponsored by Nike. Another tip. There's no such thing as overthinking. There is only thinking positively, thinking negatively. That's it. So most people think themselves into negativity and then come up with excuses to not do and get confused. And then remember, this is a tool, and then you ignore your intuition that knows the real answer. You know what you want. You always know what you want. But there's somebody you're not trying to hurt, someone that you're trying to protect. You're not looking out for yourself, you're looking out for somebody else. So you're gonna make up some shit or not do something when you know that you want to and that you have to. Don't overthink, because there's no such thing. Just think positively and be truthful. And now, a word from our sponsor. Final thing. The theme of this year that I've been preaching to everyone, and so has BTS. Love yourself, because you're the only person that knows how to love you best. No one will ever know what you want more than you know. No one in this world can completely satisfy you. Only you can do that for yourself, and you create those experiences for yourself. And now, a word from our sponsor. The last thing I want to talk about is my Patreon. A Patreon is pretty much a platform where people choose to support me through monthly donations. And when I say me, I mean me, like the stuff that I'm doing, like the content that I push out, the things I do for people in real life. If you really truly believe in me and you don't mind tossing $1 in this direction, because you can literally do that, $1 a month, that boosts my morale and just reminds me to work hard, because I truly believe in everything that I'm doing, and it needs to be done. A lot of us have been fed so much garbage, including myself, and now we're on this path to reverse it all, because it's not real, and I'm trying to help people pull out the realness. And I want to do more, even more than that. And Patreon's the place. That's the place. Like, I don't believe in charging you $200 to have a session with me of any kind. I don't want that friction. So I think that if I could just not think about the financial part and just focus on being my best and doing my best every day, then that would be the life. That would be it. Like, that's me going, just imagine me with all the time I have, like, on my hands to do what I need to do for people. Like, that's where it's at. I have the energy for it. I have the mind for it. Like, I'm ready. Young spirit, ready to take over. Yeah, that's why I have a Patreon. Like, straight up. And I do have some people on there already that support me. I lost my ish when I saw that they decided to do that. I'm very thankful to you guys. And if you're interested, links will be somewhere. You can read the mission and see what I'm all about. If this video hasn't even told you what I'm about, then now you know. And lastly, I just want to say thank you for all the birthday wishes and incoming birthday wishes. Hopefully I can get this video out at a reasonable time. Life is really fun right now, and it's been fun for months because I've figured out so much, and I just want to help people do the same thing. Peace, love, and light. Nothing else to say. Bye.